Okay, so just a little mental math to get some prep in for multiplication. First, let's skip count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. If you can't count, skip count by these, you're going to need to do some extra practice at that. For twos, you should be able to go up to 100, but just you can stop at 20. Threes, stop at 30. Fours, 50, 100. And fives, 100%. You should be able to get up to 100 as well, but stop at those numbers. Okay, so we are looking at patterns and using now, instead of the sequencing, we're using T-tables. And what a T-table means is it's a table that has two columns. Okay, it makes a T. So this would be the T in there, okay? And it's comparing, it's using one side to make the other. So if I'm looking at figure 1 here, which is right here, okay, figure 1, in the T-table, on the top, you're going to label what you're putting in each column. So notice I have figure here, and then I have the number 1, 2, 3, all the way down. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And in the other side, it's what we're counting. So we're counting the number of blocks used in each of the stages of construction of my beautiful castle, okay? So maybe I'm running out of blocks and I need to know how many blocks that I have and could I keep going and how many of these can I make. So a simple way to keep track of how many blocks are needed for each stage of the construction is to make a T-table, which is that two-column table in the shape of the T, okay? Which we just drew out there. Oh, so can you describe how the numbers in this table change as we go? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 blocks here. In figure 2, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm hoping as you're looking at this, you're seeing how I added onto my castle here. And I'm just going to count this out: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so instead of doing it in the sequence, I've got it in my table now, but notice I still have my circles off to the side, and they serve the same purpose. So now I'm looking at my numbers, and from each figure they're getting bigger, so I know that I've added. And what was the change that happened? How many blocks did I add each time? And if I look here, here's some blocks that I added. Okay, and there's the blocks that I added. Okay, so the pictures help make that really obvious. Okay, so 3 to 10 is, or 7 to 10 is 3, and then between 10 and 13 is 3. So I have added 3 blocks each time. So the rule for this growing sequence for the column, what would it be? Okay, where do I start? Right, I start at 7 and I add what each time? Right, I added 3 each time. Okay, so that would be the rule for this sequence, this figure, and in my T-chart. Okay, now moving along, if I was going to predict, so I'm looking at my figures here, and I'm going to try to predict the number of blocks that the new sequence will grow if we were to continue this. So I have up to 3 figures done. So why don't we count those? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so hopefully you've already noticed what is growing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what am I doing to make this grow? Right, I'm adding just to the towers. And how many towers are there? There's 2 towers. So I am adding how many blocks each time? Yes, I'm adding 2 blocks each time. Okay, so this goes in here. Geez, that's a horrible 8. Let's just fix that. Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Okay, so make a prediction. What do you think figure 5 would look like if we were going to draw it all out? So we're only adding to our towers, right? So let's think about this. Figure 4 then, I would add 2. So that would be 10. And then figure 5 would be 12. And if we wanted to just check this, I could just quickly, okay, that would be figure 4, right? And not the wrestling move. And then that would be figure 5, which would be 12. So you can draw it out and check it. You can build it with blocks if you've got these blocks. And just double check if you want. Okay, so the rules. Same as here. We figured out that rule to help us make that prediction, right? So let's look at here. I am not going to build these or draw these out. This T-table fits another pattern made with blocks where blocks are added in towers the same way as they were before, 1 block at a time to each tower. So 1 block at a time, there's two in the tower, now there's 4 in the tower, now there's 6 in the tower, right? So we're only adding to the towers. How many towers does this castle have? So let's think about this. How could we figure that out? Well, I'm hoping that you said the change between these numbers, the difference between these numbers will tell us the amount of towers there are because we're only adding 1 block to each sequence. Okay, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm adding 5. And then from 18 to 23, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, right? I've added 5. The numbers are getting bigger, so we're adding 5 each time. Okay, so we're adding 5 blocks. So we obviously have 5 towers if we're adding 1 block to each tower each time. So now I can finish my sequence here. So 5 plus 3, 8, right? 28. And now I'm at 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, right? And plus another 5, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay? And so the rule would be, for this, what do you think the rule would be? So you would start, I'm starting at 13, right? And add 5 each time. And if you wanted to be very specific, you should say 2 towers only, but that's okay. This is absolutely fine. All right. Now, working into our more real life problems here. So, first thing I do is I read the question all the way through. Nina started a new book on Sunday. She read 10 pages on Sunday and reads 3 pages every day after that. How many pages has she read by the end of Wednesday? So, what do I need to know? Well, she read 10 pages on Sunday and 3 pages every day after that. Okay, so do we know our starting number? We know our starting number is 10, right? Because she read 10 pages. Okay, and this is the day here. Okay, so this is Sunday. Now, what do we do? How many pages she read by Wednesday? So she reads 3 pages every day after that. And then by Wednesday, so I'm going to set my problem up. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. A little long there. All right, and I'm adding 3 each time. Now, this is a T-table showing Nina's progress in her ability to read. So I just now figure it out all the way to the end there. So 10 plus 3 is 13, 13 plus 3 is 16, 16 plus 3 is 19, and then by Wednesday, she has read 19 pages. All right, Matt was given a $50 gift certificate for his birthday, right? So he spends $3 every week. How much money does he have left after 6 weeks? So this is, he gets the gift, it's $50. This is what we're starting with. This is how much time has gone by, and this is the money he has left each week. So what do I need to know? He was given a gift of $50, and he spends $3 every single week. And what do I need? What am I trying to find out? How much money is left after 6 weeks? So after 6 weeks, Matt has blank dollars left. Okay, so I know what I'm looking for. This is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and week 6. So I set my problem up, and I know that I'm changing $3 every week, and he's spending it. So the money is getting less. So I know that it's minus. All right. Here we go. So 50 minus 3, 50, 49, 48, 47. So I have $47. 46, 45, 44. 43, 32, 41. 40, 39, 38. 37, 36, 35. 34, 33, 32. All right. So I've come to the end of my 6 weeks, and now I know I can write my answer in here. After 6 weeks, Matt has $32 left. So when we're writing a sequence in a table of values, right? So this is my sequence. If I'm looking at my sequence, okay, this here is term 1. This here is term 2. This is term 3. This is the third. And so on and so on and so on, right? So term number 1, term number 2, term number 3, 4, and 5. So term, if I'm looking at the first term, that is 1, it'll go there. The second term, the third term, the fourth term, and then the last, the fifth term. Okay, and then you just check to see how they changed in between. So this one, I added 1 here. Okay, I added 3 here. I added 5. That's 2. And this is not a repeating sequence. Okay, but this is how I would put these into the table of values. Okay, all right, so I have some questions for you. I even have some more difficult questions that I thought were kind of fun that I included. So don't get frustrated. If you have questions, make sure you ask.